It began with a single post, barely noticeable at first, buried between celebrity gossip and royal headlines that usually disappear within hours. But within minutes, something about this one started spreading faster than the rest. A blurred screenshot, a caption written in all caps, and a claim so explosive that most people didn't even pause to question it before sharing. It suggested that a senior royal source had leaked information tied to a private DNA matter involving Princess Anne, and that what it allegedly revealed would completely change how the public understood the early years of Meghan Markle and her son, Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor. But the strangest part wasn't even the claim itself. It was the suggestion that this information had been hidden for years, and was only now beginning to surface through unnamed channels. And that's where everything starts to feel off. Because within seconds of the post going viral, a wave of questions followed it. Who supposedly leaked this? Why would it surface now? And most importantly, why does there appear to be no official record of any of it? At first it looked like just another royal rumor spiraling through social media, but then something changed. Smaller accounts began repeating the same phrase, DNA truth exposed. No evidence attached, no documents, just repetition. And repetition online has a way of making even the most unlikely story feel like it might be real. But behind the scenes, a very different reaction was unfolding. Royal commentators started pushing back almost immediately, pointing out something crucial. There was no verified statement, no credible sourcing, and no indication from any legitimate outlet that anything like this had ever been investigated. Still, the rumor didn't slow down. In fact, it grew. And that's when a second layer appeared. Some versions of the claim shifted slightly, suggesting that the alleged leak came from within royal circles, possibly even linked to long-standing internal tensions. The name Princess Anne kept resurfacing in these variations, as if attaching a senior royal figure made the story feel more believable. But nothing about it was ever consistent. One version mentioned documents. Another mentioned private confirmation. Another claimed there had been a hidden briefing. Each retelling added something new and removed something important. Evidence. And that's where things begin to fracture. Because when fact-checkers started tracing the origin of the posts, they hit the same wall repeatedly. No primary source, no leaked file, no identifiable witness, and no official documentation anywhere in the public record. Just screenshots of posts that led back to other posts. A loop with no beginnings. Yet the emotional pull of the story was already doing its job. It wasn't about proof anymore. It was about possibility. And that's when the narrative takes a sharper turn. Because buried beneath the noise, another detail started circulating, almost as an afterthought in comment sections. Some users began claiming that royal insiders had long been aware of discrepancies surrounding early public narratives about Archie's birth. But again, no evidence, no confirmation, no credible testimony. Just suggestion layered on suggestion. And still it spread. Then came the mid-story shift, the moment where the conversation changed direction entirely. A few digital investigators and media analysts began pointing out something important. The structure of the rumor itself was familiar. It followed a pattern seen in previous viral misinformation cycles involving public figures. A dramatic claim attached to a recognizable name, amplified through repetition, and then loosely tied to vague authority figures to make it feel official. In this case, attaching Princess Anne's name created a sense of legitimacy. Attaching Meghan Markle created emotional intensity, and attaching Archie ensured global attention. But when analysts broke it down, the pattern looked less like breaking news, and more like engineered virality. Still, that didn't stop people from asking the same question over and over again. What if there's something being hidden? And that question, more than anything else, is what kept the rumor alive. Because once doubt enters the story, it becomes much harder to remove than the rumor itself. As the narrative escalated, larger platforms began to quietly label the claims as unverified. Some posts were flagged. Others were removed entirely for violating misinformation policies. But by then, the story had already escaped its origin point. It was everywhere. Short videos, comment threads, reaction posts, each one adding emotion, speculation, or outrage, but very little substance. And through all of it, the individuals at the centre of the claim, Meghan Markle, Princess Anne, and Archie Harrison, Mountbatten Windsor, remained entirely silent on the subject. No statements, no confirmations, no engagement with the rumour at all. Which, in the world of online speculation, only added more fuel to the questions. But here, where the deeper layer emerges. Experts in media behaviour point out that silence is often interpreted as mystery, even when it's just silence. And mystery, when combined with emotionally charged subjects like family, identity, and royalty, becomes the perfect environment for misinformation to grow unchecked. Because the human mind doesn't always wait for proof. It fills in the gaps. And once those gaps are filled, even incorrect narratives can feel emotionally real. Eventually, a few reputable commentators stepped in to clarify the situation more directly. They emphasized that there is no verified evidence supporting any DNA-related claim, no credible royal source behind the rumor, and no factual basis for the allegations circulating online. They also noted something critical. Royal family members are frequently targeted by fabricated stories that spread faster than corrections can contain them. But by the time corrections arrive, most audiences have already moved on to the next viral claim. And that creates a cycle where truth struggles to keep up with attention. As the dust begins to settle on this latest wave of speculation, what remains isn't a revelation, but a reminder. A reminder of how quickly unverified claims can evolve into global talking points, how easily names can be attached to narratives they never endorsed, and how difficult it becomes to pull truth back to the surface once emotion takes control of the story. And maybe the most unsettling part of all is that even after everything is debunked, questioned, and clarified, a small part of the audience will still be left wondering if there was something to it. Because once a story like this enters public consciousness, it doesn't fully disappear. It just changes shape. And the question that lingers long after the posts are gone is simple. In a world where a rumor can travel faster than the truth, how do we ever really know what started it in the first place?